Now, some users prefer to have everything set up perfectly before they go out and actually do an inspection. So in order to do that, if you've got a smaller portfolio and you would like to set up the rooms and areas up front before you go and allocate an inspection for this property, you can do that by going to Portfolio Data, selecting your properties, and then opening the property you want to specify the rooms and areas for. So you click on Edit Property under the options, and you'll note there's a tab called Areas and Rooms. So this is where we can specify the layout of this property if we know exactly what it is. So what you will do is you'll click on Add New Area, and then let's start with the entrance hall. And then you want to select this default checklist. Now remember, in the previous video we've set up our default checklists. So here you can specify what checklist you would typically want to use for this area. So in this case, I'm going to use a basic area and click Create. And then our next one will be, let's say, the kitchen. And the checklist set I want to use for that one is our basic kitchen. Do one for the bedroom. Okay, so I made a mistake now. I selected bedroom 4, so all you need to do is click on the edit button and remove the 4. And you can see also, if you edit an area, you can change the sequence number if you want to. There we go, bedroom. And finally our bathroom. I'm going to use basic bathroom for this one. And let's also add one for our living area. Which will also be a basic area checklist set that I'm going to use. So now I've set up all the areas for this specific property. So when I allocate an inspection, I can then select Use Property Defaults, and the system will then look at each one of these areas, create an inspection area for each one of those with the associated checklist set, and it's going to populate all of these checks for me within that areas. So when I then download the inspection to my device, I will have these areas pre-set up with all of the empty checklists items, and I can then just start and do my inspection. Now you'll also note there's an option here to copy areas from another property. And this is handy when you have a couple of flats or apartments in the same block that look exactly the same. And you can then reuse this sort of structure. So let me show you how to do this. We've already set it up for Merlot Place 50. So let's assume Merlot Place 51 and 52 is exactly the same layout. So I want to set them up to look exactly the same. So I go to 51, edit property, go to my areas and rooms. And now I'm just going to click copy areas from other property. And it will show me all of the properties that have areas defined. So I know that this one looks like Merlot Place 50. So I just click continue. And it asks me if I'm sure I want to, because it's going to override any existing areas that you have there. Click yes. And there we go. And now we've got the same layout on Merlot Place 50 and Merlot Place 51. So if I then want to allocate an inspection for 51 and use the property defaults as a starting point, then I can select that, and I know that it's been populated correctly. So as mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is completely optional. We actually do not have a lot of users using this because it is a bit of hassle to set it up, especially if you've got a large portfolio. However, if you're a growing portfolio and you want to maintain this up front so that you know you've got that structure set up for each individual property, then you can do that. However, you'll see as we go along, and when we start looking at how you actually do the inspections on the device, you'll see that it is very easy to just add an area when you are at the property. So doing this is completely optional, and you don't have to worry about that if you don't want to do it.